Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday the 8th of October 2023 with FLOSSTUBE number 195. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch and random life stuff, but mostly counted cross stitch. It's my niece's 22nd birthday today, so happy birthday to Bree. She doesn't watch these, but I'm sending her birthday vibes anyway. Those of you who've been around for a while know that around this time last year I was in Australia. I went over there for my niece's 21st, but it was a week after her birthday, I think, because work and flights and randomness. So yeah, it's been a year and here we are. I have quite a bit of stitching to show you today. Yes, I managed to get several projects worked on this week, which was nice considering the last little while has been a bit random and a bit low production wise from me. What's been going on in the meantime though, it was my great aunt Ivy's 102nd birthday yesterday, so that's great. Happy birthday to her. I talked with Dad yesterday. He wasn't feeling up for visiting with her. He said he was feeling a bit wobbly, so it wasn't safe for him to drive in, but he did talk to her on the phone and called her in the morning, and she was about, and sang, he always sings because he's random, he sang her happy birthday, and she was about to cut her cake, and I sort of commented, wow, cake for breakfast? And I'm like, well, if you're 102, you can have cake whenever you want, right? So good on her. Busy week at work. I went to the Tammy Nielsen Rock and Roll review on Friday evening with my friend Katie and had a great time. Got a little bit glammed up. I said I'd take a photo or get a photo taken. I don't usually get dressed up for things. That's about as glammed up as I get. So thanks to my friend Karen for loaning me something to wear, so green things. And it was a fun night. The mixing was a bit off at times, especially the trumpet player, but all in all, really great time and random crowd, very random crowd. A mix of, there were lots of old people, like there were some Zimmer frames, but young people, just a really different audience than what I'm used to, considering I go a lot to ballet and orchestra. And anyway, it was fun though. Late night, but lots of people randomly just commented on how they liked my glittery outfit and that I dressed up like, as in New Zealand we're very cash. You could as easily turn up to go to the ballet or the orchestra wearing flip-flops and a pair of shorts. Like, we're not that snobby and don't really care, but it is fun to get dressed up, not just go in work clothes, which often I'm going to things after work wearing work clothes. Anyway, it was fun. So other than that, had a relatively quiet day yesterday. Housework, laundry, the normal kind of domestic goddess stuff. Went to the library and just have had a nice quiet weekend thus far. Just had my lovely neighbours over for coffee, hadn't seen them for a few weeks, and just busy with work. It's election week, election on next Saturday. Go vote if you haven't already. In New Zealand, we have the privilege of being able to, it's very easy to register to vote, it's very easy to vote. We get 2 weeks to vote. You can wander in and vote anytime you like. I voted on Monday, and it's an interesting election. I don't know how it's going to go. It's random. I think that's everything. Like, it's been, honestly, I just work a lot at the moment. Work hard and collapse exhausted into bed at a reasonable hour and then don't sleep, because that's the thing that I do now. It's stitching. Let's see if we can get through this without the mare that was last week. I lost it last week, but it was fun. Okay, I have a finish. Haven't had a finish for ages, but I picked up a few of my monthly projects early this month rather than leaving them to the end of the month. Last week I showed you a couple of things that I had left to the end of whatever last month was, September. So I did carry on with a few things. So Stitch Goddess, Judy, I've got to finish. No pressure, but you were trying to keep up with me anyway. So this is by Tiny Modernist. I stitched her on 35 count. Can't read that backwards. Ocean Blue by Country Stitch, using mostly the Cord 4 DMC. I added a metallic in for the scissors, and I changed a few of the pinks and the blues, I think, just to work with my fabric. I think the Cord 4 blues were very similar to my fabric, and also the pinks were just a little bit too baby pink for me. I don't like baby pink, but that's fine. So I got her finished. I had about 13-14% to go, and which was all of her hair. So all I had to do was do her hair. The rest of it was already done, and I got her hair done. Very easy to colour complete. Just started with the darkest colour, then the middle orange, and then the lighter orange, and I'm really happy with her. Yay! I do need to buy the Bee Goddess. I want to do her. I just put aside a piece of fabric that I think might work for her, because I want to stitch her also on 35 count overdyed. So I haven't bought her yet, but I'll probably stitch her next year. So really happy with her. So because Sunday was the first of the month, and I stitched on Heather M Jardine on the first of the month, except when I forget or it's a really bad day for me, I've missed a couple of months. I picked up her on Sunday and put a little bit of stitching into her. This is the mock-up of the reproduction. The model was stitched and adapted when it was released, just to suit someone living in New Zealand. This has a New Zealand history with it. And it was originally a freebie, or with I think people who had subscribed to, who bought Anne Morrison, I think it's Anne Morrison, from Traditional Stitches, Hands Across the Sea repro. And this was released recently, like this year, for us after a little bit of pressure / request from some Kiwi gals, because we wanted to stitch it. So a whole bunch of people are stitching this in New Zealand, and not just New Zealand, but in New Zealand specifically, and modifying the heck out of it. So I am modifying the heck out of it. It will be eventually for my niece. She doesn't know, the one who just turned 22, but I'll give it to her, just to, not for any reason, not for a gift. I'll give it to my niece at some stage. I'll frame it and just give it to her. Probably like she's 25 or something, because that's how long it will take me to save this framing. So yeah, I'm stitching it on 36 count Riverstone linen by Country Stitch, and making some changes to the DMC. I think I'm using all DMC. And as a sal, the Heather M Jardine sal. So Hayley, Zeb, and Hayley and Zeb in New Zealand started it. There's a whole bunch of people stitching it. I started mine on the 1st of June, and I'm stitching it only on the 1st of the month when I remember, or it suits. So since you last saw it, I think I was about 50% when I left it last. I put in all the things that are inside. So the snail is just, I changed that colour. It's the same, just I changed the brown. The parrot is, I've changed the colours a little bit, because it has this weird, kind of that weird peachy colour in the charting, and I've never seen a peach parrot. So I just added in, I kept the blue, and I added in my teal and just modified a little bit, and I've changed the flower there. This is what the mock-up looks like there, this thing, and I've added in a Lily of the Valley, which I just found a little, I'm not saying it was free, but I just copied it from something I found online. If it's your design, thanks, I just copied it. I'm not sharing it because I don't know. And so my niece has Finnish ancestry, so her dad is half Finnish. So I've just added the Lily of the Valley, because that is the Finnish national flower. So I just wanted to adding in some Australian and some New Zealand stuff. So it already has the New Zealand text motto down the bottom, both in English and in Te Reo Māori, and that was one of the modifications that had been made when it was stitched for the model. So that's her New Zealand. There's going to be in the New Zealand giant snail. So the New Zealand stuff in here. And then I'm adding in a bit of Australian stuff. Instead of a teddy bear, I'm going to stitch a koala. And I haven't decided everything I'm stitching yet. Like I haven't stitched that Haven't stitched that yet. I don't know what I'm doing there. That will be a koala. Not sure what I'll put here. I might put an Australian flower in here. I might add a New Zealand something somewhere. I don't know what that might be a New Zealand thing. I'll probably keep the peacock just because they're cool. Yeah, and the parrot, I might flip the parrot. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along. So that's what I'm done. So basically, because she lives in Australia and is likely to stay in Australia, so New Zealand born with Finnish ancestry and lives in Australia, so it's just going to have some of the stuff changed. And if you're familiar with Australia, my niece lives in Queensland, and they are lots of parrots. There are lots of birds. It's very noisy. Very noisy in the mornings and in the sort of twilight when all of the parrots come back to roost. And if you have a large tree, it can be literally quivering with like lorikeets and parakeets and cockatoos, small ravens, or they call them crows over there, but they're small ravens. They get kookaburra. You don't have like flocks of kookaburra. So it can be quite cacophonous. So parrots make sense as well, being where she lives. Anyway, that's probably enough about that. I'm really happy with how it's going. I love that I'm on a different fabric. It's quite different to what everyone else is stitching it on. And it meant that I could pull in that kind of whitish colour for the Lily of the Valley as well. Whereas if I'd stitched on something a bit pale, that Lily of the Valley would have disappeared. So yay to the internet finding that. And I've also found a couple of koala options. I've got to count them to see which one will fit, and I'll just modify it as I go. Then I thought, what needs some more love? And for my stash sampler starts that we did in August and September, where I started 9 samplers, I did 8 plus a bonus, along with Narissa from Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle and a few others. I had intended that by the end of the year I've stitched on each of the 9 samplers at least 5 days, and I'm keeping a spreadsheet. And when I started the TGA Blackwork Sampler by just stitching along, that's going to replace these 3 initials with my initials up here. I just haven't got to that bit yet. I had only done a couple of days on this, I think, so I picked this up. I think I've done my 5 days now. I did this on Wednesday, Thursday, didn't do anything on Friday and Saturday. Yeah, so I think I've done 5 days. So this doesn't need any more time this year. If it gets any more to be a bonus, as in I've met my goal. So since you last saw it, I stitched all of that alphabet, the darker red one, and the flower basket, that big flower basket, not the little flower baskets. So yeah, I got all of that done. That was fun and pleased with it. So yeah, just this alphabet's quite a fun alphabet. I kind of like how kind of random it is. Some of the letters look really traditional. Like that's a really traditional kind of Gothic font, and then you've got this random X, which doesn't look very traditional at all. And the O is just looks like a turtle. And the A is a bit kind of, A and B look a little bit like underwhelming. I just love how random it is. Yeah, it's just all over the show. And that basket there. So I've actually colour completed, I think, 3 colours now, according to the chart. They may come back because I'm not really following the chart. So that dark blue, that's colour completed across the bottom. I think it was actually charted for 2 different colours, but it made no sense for me. And in the flower basket, the yellow and that lavender are both colour completed. So it's kind of fun. I've got 3 or 4 reds that are going to be throughout, and then other colours. I'm just randomly picking stuff. So that is now, I'm doing this on Pattern Keeper. I can't remember. Might be like 30% done or something. I'm probably making that up. So yeah, TGA Redwork Sampler by Just Stitching Along on 35 count shortbread. Yeah, shortbread linen from Country Stitch, using my own overdyes, and that was nice to get that progress done. And then last night, when I sat down, I thought, let's keep going with the monthly projects. So you only saw this last week, but I picked it up again. New Zealand Flowers Ball by Cherry Parker Designs, and I'm stitching this on 25 count Lugana in the antique white, moss green and ice blue using Core 4 DMC. And this is a couple of people stitching this with me, Tania and Jude. And you saw this last week when I stitched the Kakabeak flowers, and I carried on to do the, what's it called? It's Mountain Buttercup. So the yellow flowers down the bottom, the Mountain Buttercup. And that was a lovely one to stitch, easy to colour complete, because just stitch big rows of yellow, then the green, and then the little centres, and then the back stitching. It was a really one of the least fiddly designs compared to like these and this and that. They have a lot of quarter stitches. This didn't have a lot of quarter stitches, just around by comparison. So yeah, one more to go, just November's piece. I think next weekend I might get the materials I need to finish it. I've got some stuffing. I think I've got enough stuffing, but I need to get ideally some 1/4 inch iron-on wadding or something suitable. And I want to put, I want to put something in the middle of it. I'm going to get one of those cat toys that has a bell inside a little plastic case so that it still will make a noise. So I had to go and find, it might be something like a $2 shop or something, and then I just want to put something in it so that it's a bit fun. Also, that much will take less wadding. So the idea being, then I can probably start prepping it so that when I'm with friends in December, I think Jude will have hers ready to do as well. I'm going to start putting it together. So yay. It'd be nice to have something finished in December, because I had goals to finish a bunch of ornaments, and I don't know if that's going to happen. Speaking of ornaments, I then decided, let's get the whatever month we're in, October, my grandma's jewellery box sale stitch. So this is on 32 count antique white Swigart linen. Yeah, linen by Swigart. Using my own, mostly Core 4 DMC, and my own metallics and beads. So these are monthly ornaments that are released, or brooches they're called. I'm going to stitch them as ornaments, finish them as ornaments, but yeah, brooches they're called, inspired by things you'd find in your grandma's jewellery box. So here is the October one, and called for DMC. Mine's different in that I used a berry coloured number 8 braid, so it's a bit thick, but it's fine. Number 8 braid that I had, and I actually finished off a spool from one of my memorabilias from back in the day, and I think the called for was a more greeny kind of metallic, so that's different. And the beads, again, I used some berry coloured beads, Mill Hill beads, called for champagne. So mine's a lot more, I'm going to say, juicy and red. So I've kept all of the, apart from the 2 shades of green, everything's sort of in those berry tones, and I really like it. So I got that stitched, and here are all of them that barely fit on the screen. And yeah, look, really nicely spaced, plenty of room to finish them as ornaments. I need to get some mat board and stuff and start thinking about that, but I don't know if it's going to happen in December. See how busy I am. So that's all my stitching. That's quite a lot. Is that 5 projects? That's 5 projects. So I'm pleased with, and if one of them are finished, that's pretty cool. I haven't bought anything. Again, I'm being budget conscious, and I've got so much stuff that I'm just working through that. And I still have like 40 projects in the cupboard that are not, not even going to get started. But I'm thinking ahead, because we're in October now, and I'm thinking ahead to November, and the fact that I don't have enough whips, that's not true. But black sampler, I've forgotten what it's called, November. So why not have a couple of starts in November and work on black samplers? So I went through my stash and pulled out a couple of charts and kitted them up this morning. So in November, I'm planning to stitch this, or start it, the black butterfly sampler from Shaded Stitchery. And I love it. And there's quite a the write-up about it's quite interesting, like the motivation for it, and it's quite fun and I love it. So it's stitched in 2 shades of black. It's charted for charcoal from Leo and Roxy, or now Roxy Floss Co, and black licorice from Gentle Arts. GAC, is that Gentle Arts? I guess so. I've gone completely blank. So I've pulled out an offcut of 40 count corn straw from Country Stitch. So it's plenty big enough. And I will use, I pulled out a couple of threads. So for the licorice, actually I'll probably swap them around. The one that's the darkest colour, I've got from Cottage Garden. Ow, I just got the staple in my thumb, that's great. Cottage Garden Threads Haviland. It's a nice, kind of, I was going to say black. I'd say if you had to pick a colour, it's slightly warmer black, but it's pretty black. It's not pitch black though. And then I've also pulled Onyx from Gentle Arts, and that will be possibly on screen. They look really similar and they're not. This one is definitely more of a charcoal grey. So the darkest colour, which is the majority, is going to be the Haviland, and then the softer grey, slightly lighter black will be this one that I can't remember what it is, Onyx. So that is kitted up. I haven't done a card for it because I literally pulled these before I started the video. And I think that's going to look really nice on that. So that will be started in November. And then, because why do 1 when you can do 2? I saw this finished recently and remembered that I had the chart. It was a freebie, but I couldn't find it again. But it stitches through the year's black sampler, and it was a freebie. And I saw this finished recently and it reminded me that I had it and I needed to stitch it. I thought it was little. It's actually not that little, but I pulled a piece of 40 count parchment from Country Stitch, and I'm pretty sure that this is a piece that the lovely Fiona gave me when I stayed with her in March. So thank you, Fiona, again for your generosity. Yeah, so 40 count parchment by Country Stitch, and I thought, well, if I'm going to be doing black samplers, why not use just different black threads? So I looked through my stash, and in my box of silk spools that are not Oversoir, I found this black Gutermann silk that either I bought or it came in a box gifted to me from Gail. Gail gave me a whole lot of silks, random stuff. And I don't remember whether I bought this or not, but I'm just going to use the black single strand of the black Gutermann silk on this fabric because that'll be fun. I also have a black sampler that will come out, which is a Modern Folk Embroidery, the Charlotte Bronte sampler, I think it is. Is it Charlotte Bronte? I don't remember. I started it as part of my #stash sampler starts, and that only got a day, I think. So that needs a few days to make my goal of stitching on each of those samplers 5 days. So that will come out as well in November. So these 2 starts, and that one, that'll give me 3 black samplers just to stitch on in black sampler September. And that's using anchor black. So I'm using all random black threads, which is kind of fun given black's black. That is a goal for November. So yeah, if you want to play along, lots of people across the cross stitch community do black sampler in November. I think it was initially suggested by Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, and so I definitely want to stitch on a Jacob stitch, which I do have with the other sampler. So fun. And yeah, I don't expect to finish any of these, but I don't know. Next year's going to have to be, I think next year's looking very much like a sampler focus year, because I have a bunch of samplers now. So yeah, and I'll be starting something in January, which I haven't decided yet. Did I decide? Yeah, that's it. So pulled a couple of things from my stash. So it's kind of fun to pull, like, again, kit things up from my stash. Still have 40 odd things in the box. But I don't know, it's something to show you. But my room is such a mess. I kind of need to spend an hour in there this afternoon, I think. I've got my large desk, my craft desk is absolutely strewn with projects, and I've pulled floss and left the floss there. When I'm finished with it, when I colour complete, that floss just goes straight into the box to be put away. That box of floss to be put away is full. And I've got stuff on the floor. I've got piles of magazines I need to recycle, but I need to go through quickly one more time. I don't know, random stuff. I need to be able to get to my desk in the morning, and at the moment I've got a whole bunch of stuff all over it. So what I need to do is finish this video, make some lunch because it's 1:20 and I'm hungry. So I'm going to might toast a croissant with cheese, ham and tomato. Yum, yum, yum. Put it in the toasting machine. And that will be delicious. I need to get something out for dinner. I need to get 3 loads of laundry folded. So yeah, there's quite a bit to go on at this exciting house. I will look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks in advance for all your comments. Thanks to a couple of people. Every month or so I get a coffee or two bought for me, which is really nice. Link in the doobly-doo, as are all my contact details and information about all the projects that I've shown you, my whips and finishes. So yay for that. I hope you find time to do a bit of stitching or do something else that brings you joy this week. Everyone who's been poorly, hope you're feeling better, and I look forward to doing this again next week. In the meantime, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.